The guitar man and his secret song. People called him the man who could make a guitar cry. His name is Keith Urban. He's a famous country music singer. For many years, he sang beautiful songs about love. He was married to a movie star named Nicole Kidman. Everyone thought they were the perfect couple. But then something changed. It started small. One night, Keith sang on stage with a younger singer named Kelsea Ballerini. She was also a country music star. When they sang together, something felt different. The way Keith looked at her wasn't normal. It was like he saw something special in her. People watching noticed it. They started talking about it on the internet. "Did you see that?" they said. "Something is happening between them." Keith's hard childhood. Before Keith was famous, he was just a poor boy from Australia. His family didn't have much money. His parents fought a lot. When they argued, little Keith would go outside with his guitar and play music. Music made him feel better. Other kids made fun of him at school, but Keith kept playing his guitar. By the time he was 10, he was playing at small shows. Music was the only thing that made him happy. His dad was very strict. He always told Keith to play better, to be perfect. Keith tried hard to make his dad proud. Coming to America. When Keith grew up, he moved to America to follow his dream. He wanted to be a star in Nashville, the city of country music. It was really hard at first. He slept on friends' couches. He had no money. Many people said no to him, but Keith never gave up. Finally, people started to notice his music. His first big song came out in 1999. Suddenly, everyone knew his name. Keith Urban was now a superstar. Fame and problems. Keith became more and more famous. He married Nicole Kidman, a beautiful actress. They looked perfect together. Everyone loved them. But being famous was hard. Keith was tired all the time. He missed his family. The pressure to be perfect made him stressed. Sometimes he felt very lonely, even with all those people cheering for him. Meeting Kelsea. Then Keith met Kelsea Ballerini. She was a young country singer who grew up listening to Keith's music. She had posters of him on her wall when she was a teenager. They started working together on songs. They talked for hours about music and life. Kelsea was going through a hard time too. Her marriage was ending. Keith understood how she felt because he also felt sad and lost sometimes. When they sang together, it was magic, but people started to wonder, are they just friends, or is there something more? The secret connection. Keith and Kelsea spent more time together in music studios. They wrote songs together. These songs were very emotional and personal. One song they wrote was so personal, they decided never to let anyone hear it. But people kept talking. They saw Keith and Kelsea leaving studios late at night. They noticed how Keith's eyes looked different when he talked about her. Nicole, Keith's wife, noticed too. She stayed calm and smiled in public, but inside she was worried. Just music. Keith wrote new songs that sounded like they were about Kelsea. One song said, "You were the calm that felt like chaos, the echo I couldn't unhear." When people asked Keith about it, he smiled and said, "Sometimes inspiration comes from meeting someone who helps you understand yourself better." That was all he would say. No big scandal ever happened. Keith never left Nicole, but everyone wondered what really happened between him and Kelsea. Years later. Today, Keith is 57 years old. His hair is turning gray. He's still married to Nicole. They're still together, still holding hands at events. Kelsea is now a big star too. When people ask her about Keith, she smiles and says, "He taught me that being broken doesn't mean you're finished. Sometimes you meet someone who shows you the beautiful parts of yourself you forgot about." The final song. Years after all the rumors, something amazing happened. At a special concert in Nashville, Keith was singing alone on stage. Then he surprised everyone. "I'd like to invite a special friend to join me," he he said. Kelsea walked onto the stage. The crowd went silent. They sang together one last time, the special song they wrote years ago, the one they said no one would ever hear. It was beautiful and sad and honest. When the song ended, Keith and Kelsea looked at each other for a long moment. Then they smiled and walked off the stage in different directions. The crowd was so moved, they couldn't even clap at first. What it all means. So what really happened between Keith Urban and Kelsea Ballerini? Nobody knows for sure. Maybe they were just friends who understood each other's pain. Maybe they felt something more but never acted on it. Maybe their connection was only about music. What we do know is this. Sometimes in life, you meet someone who touches your heart in a special way. That doesn't always mean romance. Sometimes it just means two people who needed to understand each other at the right moment. Keith once wrote, "Some connections aren't meant to be understood, they're just meant to be remembered." And maybe that's the real story. Not a scandal, but a memory. Not a betrayal, but a moment when two broken people helped each other heal through music.